Hi. Hello, YouTube. My name is Rebecca. I currently live in South Korea. I'm an English teacher, and I wanted to record a video because I took the Myers-Briggs personality type test and found out that I was an INFJ. I've taken the test before a couple times in the past, and I scored as an INFJ. So and knowing myself pretty well, I'm an INFJ. So if anyone wants to dispute that, because I think a lot of people, I guess, mistype themselves as INFJs, and they're really not. I think you know if you're an INFJ. You know, trust me. The way I know, the first time I realized I felt, or I was just different. The first time I felt like I was just different than everybody else was when I was really young, and I was watching a movie. I was watching E.T. actually, great movie, and I was like 8 or something, and I was watching it, and at the very end, when the ship goes off, I remember turning to my mom and being like, "That's it? That's the end of the movie?" And my mom was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "There has to be more. Like, what is this? What? Like, are they gonna make another one?" My mom was like, "Well, maybe." I'm like, "But where did E.T. go? Like, where was his home? What does his home look like? What's the name of his planet?" Like, I had all these questions. So there's this. It cut. Like, how could the movie be over? You know, like this. It just. I kept on asking all these questions. My mother, she's an SJ, so in true SJ fashion, she looked at me and said, "Rebecca, it's a movie." And I was looking at her, and my heart dropped because for me, it wasn't a movie. It was more than a movie. It was it was a movie about E.T. It was a movie about an alien. He must have a home, and he must. I mean, there's just way too many questions, right? Like unanswered in that movie. At the very end for me, so that's when I knew I was different. That's when I knew that the way I was thinking was not the way everybody else was thinking. So I grew up. Nothing really changed. My parents are both SJs, so our value systems and where we put our energy and all that is completely different. So growing up was kind of hard because my parents never got me. Like I think I wrote a poem when I was like 10, and I said it to my parents. Like I spoke this poem to my parents, and it was about really deep stuff. And my mom thought I was troubled. Like she looked at me and she didn't get the poem. First of all, she was like, "What is this? Like, what?" Like she tried her best to like what's the word, like support me, support this poetry that I wrote, but she looked at me and like, and it was just like the poem was really deep, and it was about someone who was going through a lot of stuff, and like someone who had been in prison. And this is when I was like 10 years old, right? So I'm writing about someone who, because of their circumstances, ended up in jail, but not because this person wanted to, but because this person, that was the situation they were in. Like if you have no money to eat, what are you going to do? You're going to steal food, right, to eat. So for me, that's like what I was looking at. This is what this poem was about, and I was like 10 years old, and my mom was worried, like, "Oh my gosh, how do you know this? Like, what? How do you know this kind of stuff? Which is really funny to me because for me, that's the way I write. That's the way I think about things, and I did it at a young age. So yeah, so being an INFJ, I think the biggest thing for me about being an INFJ is that I feel everything. I feel everything. I notice everything. I I love. I put a lot of love in the people I care about. I notice the small things. I'm introverted. I'm not shy. I'm not shy. I'm introverted. Being around people for a long time drains me. I'm a teacher, so I'm around kids all day. So when I come home, all I want to do is watch. All I want to do is watch TV and lay around, right? But a lot of people look at that and they're like, "Oh, that's so boring. Like you don't want to be around. You don't call your friends or anything." I'm like, no. No. Like I want to be alone because that's where I get my energy from. At home when I was living back at home, I was always in my room. And even when I was in high school, I was always in my room. I never came out. I came out to like eat and stuff. And my mom she took that as a personal attack. My mom actually thought that I hated her. That's why I never came out, because I hated her. I didn't want to be around her, and that's not it at all. I wanted to be alone. I needed to recharge, from the daily drain of everything. My parents, it's kind of hard just because we don't really get along because she, in her head, she thinks something, I think something, and it's our wires get crossed. So both my mom and dad were like that. I love them. I love you guys. I love my parents, but we're just very different. So feeling, yes, I think that's the biggest basis for being an INFJ. I think you know you're an INFJ when you feel everything, and you notice everything, and you're never wrong about what you feel. So I guess the F, right? it's like a double-edged sword, because I love that I love that I can see the world in beauty. I can see the world in a way that no one else sees it. I have great empathy for people like the homeless and those people who are in suffering, because I know they got there because they went through some really hard stuff, you know? And I know my mom, I asked my mom, I said, yeah, you know, I really want to study addiction. And she looked at me and was like, if you're, people who are addicted to stuff, it's their own fault. Like, if you just need to stop drinking. You need to stop doing drugs. And I looked at my mom like she was crazy, right? Like, because we are on different planets. Like, my mom and my dad, me, you know? Just very different planets. Because I was like, no, they can't help it. Like, they can't, there's other things that go on, you know, with addiction, and it's not their fault, really. Like, after a while, it's like your mind is so warped, you need this, you know, you need this drug, or whatever. So, I just have great empathy for people, and I can put myself in their shoes. You know, I can empathize with anybody. Like, you tell me your story, and I'll really be able to look at you and say I understand. I might not have gone through that situation, but hey, like, I can try my best to get it, and I'll listen to you for hours, for as long as you want, because I want to know. I think the feeling part, I used to not like. I don't think I know. When I was younger, I didn't want to feel. I hated feeling so much. I hate feeling a lot, honestly. Sometimes it really sucks, you know, like, because I like that certain people, things happen to them, people say something mean to them, and they just shrug it off like it doesn't mean anything, and they walk away, right? They just walk away. It doesn't even faze them. And for me, it's like my whole world can drop like in an instant. You know, here in Korea, when you're a teacher, they don't give you positive reinforcement. It's just the Korean way, I guess. They don't, and a lot of teachers experience this. You never get told you're doing a good job, right, at your job. You're always told the bad things, which for me, as an NF, doesn't really work that well. I have to get positive reinforcement, like, from my friends and stuff. Oh, the people I work with, sorry, the other foreigners, because I need positive reinforcement. But they don't get that. They don't give that. That's not the way you work. Like, in your job, it's your job. You know, you don't need to be, you know, I don't need to tell you you're doing a good job. If I don't say anything, you're doing a good job. So I'm like, oh, you know. But I think that's hard, because I'm always told if I'm doing something wrong, but never right. So then I'm like, I feel bad, right? Because the collective, the group, is important to me, for them to feel good. That I need everybody. Like, I'll give up my own personal happiness for everybody to be happy, because it's important that everybody's happy and thriving, and that the energy in the room is good energy, and I'll work really hard to get to that point, because it's important for me that other people are happy, right? I'm a people pleaser. So I find that that's really frustrating, because you can't please everybody in this world, right? And, like, not everyone gets you or whatever. So, you know, I find myself being really emotional sometimes. You know, like, I'll watch a movie and be emotional. I'll listen to music, get emotional. Someone says something mean to me, it'll ruin my entire day. And, you know, it's like you're walking around with all these little balls, you know, bouncing around, and they're, like, hitting you, right? And if you're an INFJ who's realized this, that you're really sensitive, you're gonna put a boundary around your body, right? You're gonna, like, walk through, and the balls are just gonna bounce right off, right? They're not affected. But if you're an INFJ, and like, for me, and I haven't prepared myself mentally, like, you have to prepare. I haven't prepared myself mentally. When the balls hit me, I absorb them, and that's really bad. Again, I'll internalize everything, like, and I'll feel like if someone's really anxious around me, I'll feel anxious, right? So I have to learn to, like, literally, if I'm in a situation, or I'm going into a situation with a lot of people, I have to, like, meditate. I have to, like, give myself a couple minutes to, like, prepare, and then go in, because then I can make that shield. Because if there's no shield, I promise you, as an INFJ, you're gonna fall flat on your face, you know, because all of a sudden you'll be with someone who's really happy, and you'll be happy, or you'll be having a good day, and then you run into someone who's angry and upset, and you'll be angry and upset for no reason. I mean, it's stupid, right? Like, it sucks. We got to figure out a way to deal with it, and that's how I deal with it, really. It's just the mental preparation. And I guess the intuition part, like, I know things. I don't know why I know them. I just know them, and I know people. Within the first 5 or 6 seconds, I know who you are. So don't try to BS me. I already know. So this is already getting 10 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it off. But I'll make another video maybe about the different temperaments, or about, you know, the different letters. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Put a comment if you want, or whatever. I hope that other INFJs, I guess, feel a little bit of affirmation of, like, who they are, and it's okay. All right. Bye.